Hey guys, I'm back with a very different kind of video than what I'm used to. Normally on the channel, I'll do sports videos, I'll do thoughts on different events in sports, projections for records, predictions, that sort of stuff, and a couple gameplay videos here and there, and a little bit of music stuff as well. But today, I was thinking about my whole college experience from my freshman year of college all the way up until now, my last semester of my senior year. And just looking over it in my mind, all the different things that I struggled with when I first got to college, and a bunch of different habits that I needed to change. So I felt a lot of you new incoming freshmen could use a lot of these tips, especially ones that are in online programs. So the way I broke it down was I have 5 just tips in general, and then 5 tips for people taking online classes. So I'll start with the ones that are more generalized. First tip, straight up, just don't bullshit. If you know you have an assignment or something important due within the next few days, and you go out and say go to a party on Thursday, because I know I know a bit about that. I was in college too, on campus. And, that essay is due Saturday night on the college's website, and you haven't even started it Thursday afternoon, and then you go out and party Thursday night until about, say, 1 or 2 in the morning, and then you're hungover Friday. So then you put it off until Saturday. And then, you still have all day Saturday, but it's like you could have got that done much, much sooner. And now you gotta scramble. You gotta have possibly anxiety attacks, trying to really struggle to get it done. You're really stressing out. You might be depressed because you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done. I've been there, and it's not fun. So that's my first tip. Second tip, which I still struggle with from time to time today. Perfectly fine. It's understandable. But especially for the more daunting tasks, say, for example, for me, in one of my classes for this semester, I have a 25-page paper for the last class I need to graduate, and I'm talking about crime statistics and victimization statistics and that's a very hard topic, at least I think for me. It sounds really simple and straightforward, but when you actually look at it, it's pretty difficult, and it's a very intimidating paper with that kind of size to it. So what I learned from this semester is take it day by day, break it down bit by bit, little by little here and there, and then all of a sudden that 25 to 30 page paper does not seem as bad. The third tip that I want to give you guys is very, very, very important. You need to find what motivates you, your motivating factors, whether it's you get that job that you've always wanted, that dream job, that career, you get that degree so you could help support your family. Maybe your parents are struggling financially. You want to be able to help support them after you graduate, so that'll keep you motivated. Or maybe you're planning on moving in with your significant other, and you want to be able to support them and yourself comfortably. So find whatever motivates you, and tap into that every single day, and you will see much better results on your papers, your discussions. In class, you'll be much more motivated and engaged. You won't be falling asleep as much because you'll really, really want to get that degree, and you won't feel as demotivated and feel like dropping out even when things get rough and stressful. So that's my third tip. Fourth tip, I still struggle with this sometimes. Do not procrastinate. If you procrastinate and leave things to the last minute, you will get shitty grades, no matter how smart you are, because a lot of people would consider me to be a smart person. I left a discussion online to the last minute, and because I did that, I got only about a 60 or 70 out of 100, when if I gave myself maybe even an extra 20 minutes, I could have easily gotten a 100 on that. So that is my fourth tip. Fifth tip for all you people, especially freshmen, incoming freshmen that are going to be on campus, especially at party schools or in schools up in the country like where I was at in upstate New York, where you don't really have a lot to do. It's going to be very tempting to want to party a lot, and that's simply because depending on where you're at, you might not have a lot to do on campus, so you might feel like that's the only thing to do. You know, party and go to frat parties and sorority parties and all that good stuff and play beer pong, whatever. But if you party more than you work on your assignments, you will fail out, you will fuck up. So don't do that. And a personal story for you guys, being very honest with you guys. My freshman year, I partied way too much, and it showed. I really just, at that time in my life, did not give a crap. I just wanted to pass. I didn't really care. And I did not pass one or two of those classes, so I ended up on academic probation, and it was a real kick in the ass. The next semester of college, I ended up with a 3.58. So another thing is, if you guys are not doing well in college right now, don't get discouraged. If I can end up pulling up my grades and making the dean's list after fucking up my freshman year, all of you guys can do it too. Have faith, believe in yourselves, you can do it. Next tip. One of the most important tips. Set aside time out of your busy schedules every single day, especially for those people that have super busy schedules that, you know, might be working while also taking classes. It is very important that you set aside time to do your work or study, read your textbooks, whatever, every single day. And that goes back to what I was saying before. If you do that every single day, you're less likely to be stressed out about anything, and your work will be a lot better. You'll be able to look it over much more times, and you'll be able to critique it much better. Your grades will be much better, and it will show in your work that you care. And as a result, you will do much better overall in the semester, most likely. Okay, so here's my tips for people with online classes. First tip for online classes: you need to do things early in the week, as bad as that sounds. But hear me out. If you start the semester by getting things done early, you'll be able to get things that are due the next week done ahead in advance. So then by the time you're on the second week of classes or whatever you may be at, you're going to have barely any work due the middle of that week when it actually comes up, because you'll have already done the work, and then you could focus on the week after that, and then so on and so forth, and you just keep on doing that until you're done with the semester, and then cause for celebration. You're done, you got this, and hopefully get that degree, or even if you're just taking a couple classes to expand your mind, whatever works for you guys. The second tip, which is kind of reiterating the last point that I said for the generalized tips, set aside time every single day for chapter readings. They are very, very crucial, especially if you're taking courses like me, where right now I have a history course. As an example, I need to read about 100 or so pages within the next few days to stay ahead. So I'm going to try and work on doing that. But what I do is I'll break it up into 20, 30 page blocks so that it's not as daunting a task, and it makes it a lot easier. I'm not as stressed, and I actually end up enjoying the reading because I am a history buff, so it works out pretty well, Okay, next tip. This is very, very important for people who are writing massive papers, especially for people who have to write big papers, like a 25-page paper like me. Use the app and computer program known as Grammarly. Grammarly, by the way, I'm not sponsored by them, but I really just think it's a good freaking program. Basically, you download it for free. There is a premium version, but you could use the free version, and it's just as good. That's what I've been doing for this semester. And it looks over all your work, and it's on all the time, as long as you have it downloaded. It'll have a little icon at the top right of your computer, and sort of like how Microsoft Word does it, where it has the red squiggly under the word. It'll have like red underneath it, and then you scroll over it and it'll show you what's wrong with it. For me, I use too many commas sometimes, or like some of my sentence structure just is kind of like weird sometimes when I'm writing essays, because I get so focused that sometimes my sentence structure is shitty. Like, I know in my head what I'm trying to say, but when it goes to the page, it kind of looks shitty. So that's my second to last tip. And my last tip that I've learned over the years: don't pull all-nighters to try and get all your work done, ahead of time, or, be super ambitious like that. Because sometimes it ends up fucking you over in the long run, because you then experience burnout the next day. You feel like shit. Oftentimes, you take energy drinks to try and pull an all-nighter. The very next day, you won't get anything done. You might get like 1 or 2 things done, if that, but generally speaking, your work is going to suffer because it's going to be worse. You're going to have barely any sleep. The only reason you're going to fall asleep is because you just crashed after pulling an all-nighter. So your work isn't going to really be good. You might end up handing it in late because you had to compensate by getting sleep after pulling that all-nighter. And in the long run, it just screws you over. Your work, it suffers. So those are my tips for succeeding in college. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.